The other day I went to my YouTube community tab and I directly asked my audience, what are you guys struggling with when it comes to just making content? And over 100 of you responded with what you're struggling with when it comes to just hitting record, your struggles with gear, uploading on a consistent basis, or just making the type of videos that you want and putting them out there. So today, I'm not gonna go through all 100 of these and reply, but I'm going to kind of narrow it down to what most of you had to say and see if I can help. I don't know if this will work for all of you, but it may offer you guys some encouragement, but also some practical advice. So let's go. Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake helping you create something awesome today. Welcome back to the channel. For the new folks here, welcome. My name is Roberto Blake. I'm a creative entrepreneur here on YouTube. I've done over 1,000 videos. I'm also a public speaker at events like VidCon and VidSummit. And today I want to help you if you are struggling to make online content. Now, this advice isn't going to be limited to just YouTube. This is going to be about, creating content in general, because I think regardless of what platform you're trying to go for, a lot of these struggles are the same. One of the most common things is the fear of being on camera in the first place. I struggled with this for my first 100 videos. I think even Gary Vaynerchuk, prolific public speaker, entrepreneur who did 1,000 episodes of Wine Library TV before doing, his Ask Gary Vee show, Daily V, all that stuff. He said that like for the first 60 to 100 videos, he didn't feel comfortable on camera, and he's wildly charismatic. Don't beat yourself up about this. This is something that comes with practice. Giving yourself the opportunity to practice is one of the best things you can do. I wish I had done it more before I decided to actually put my content out there. Consider recording some stuff that you know you're not going to post, just to get used to the idea of it and just to practice your talking points and how you want to say things, because a lot of you guys said that you don't trust yourself in terms of like how you're saying it, how you're communicating. I read through every single one of your comments when I asked this, so I understand exactly what you're going through here. It wasn't easy for me either. I'm an introvert. When I first got started with this, I was in a place where I was just coming off of being like really down and depressed. So I really do think that your on-camera energy, your ability to communicate and articulate well, I think those things really just come with practice, and you just need to keep going, even if you're not putting it out there. Now, some of you said you live in an area where you don't have good Wi-Fi or internet. That's because of either the country that you're in, or that you don't have like you can't afford the best, Wi-Fi or cable or internet. And what my recommendation is, consider, if you have the ability to, going somewhere where there is better internet to do the upload process, even if you have to kind of change your schedule around that. One of the things you could look at doing is you could look at going to your local library or media center. If you don't have a laptop to do that, to get your videos, out there, after you render them, consider putting them on a hard drive or a thumb drive and then going to your local library or media center and then using their internet to upload if you're allowed to do that. If you have a laptop, then go somewhere where there's good public Wi-Fi, and that makes a difference. Some of you also said that just where your location is, it's not good for you to try to do any of this stuff that you really want to do at the level that you want to do it. And so my answer to that would be, maybe you could focus all of your energy on just making more money and saving more money. You don't have to, make more money on YouTube if you're already struggling with that, or with the social media side. You could do more of the things that I talk about, like affiliate marketing and online business. If you want to watch those videos, I'm going to link to them up here and also in the description. I have a lot of videos about how to make money online. I make more money on all my other ventures than I do on YouTube. So maybe if you can save money, you can get resources. Some of you said hardware is an issue. If you prioritize making more money and saving up for your goals, then you can either move to a better place that's just easier for you to, fulfill your dreams and your goals, or maybe if you need equipment, hardware, or other resources, you can acquire those things if you just make more money or save more money. And I know that sounds easy to say and it's hard to do, totally get it, but I remember when I first got started, it was slow for me too. So if I can manage it, I think that a lot of you are underestimating what your abilities are and that you have an opportunity. Now, there are a lot of you say that your issue is that you don't have time to make, content, and you really want to. I would say that consider looking at, the time that you do have available and see if there's any way to save more time in terms of making something more efficient or spending less time on other things, and see where you can borrow that extra bit of time. Also, a lot of you, it's the perfectionist thing. That's really what's holding you back. You're saying you don't have enough time, but the reality is that it's that you're trying to do something that takes more time than you have. Maybe cut back your ambition just a little bit for now to just get something done and to get efficient and to develop good habits and to, check the box. And you can work your way up to that thing that you really want to do, because I think that a lot of you, your problem is you're looking at the gap between where you want to be and where you actually are, and you're not cutting yourself enough slack and saying that, you know what, it takes time to get there, and I'm not giving myself that patience, that time to work my way up to something. Because I think so many of you look at the people that you admire and you want to make content the way they're making it, but none of them started out where they are today. They worked their way up to it, whether you've seen it or not. And a lot of times it's not their first try. They had 5 or 6 failures before they ever launched whatever it is they're doing now. So just kind of put it into perspective and stop setting the bar so freaking high for yourself. Calm down, come back down here. And I'm not telling you to settle, I'm telling you to respect the level of ability and resources you currently have and not abuse yourself with high expectations. In reading through these comments, I thought it was important to address the people who have health issues, demands on their energy, physical disabilities. I'm very sympathetic to that. There are people in my family who have this exact same situation, and it's part of why I advocate for alternative careers and ways of making income, because not everybody can fit the structure of a 9-to-5 job because of their health or their illnesses or their disability. With that in mind, when it comes to content creation, you have to be willing to accept some of the conditions and limitations that your body might have. And to that end, I would say that you have to look at content styles and formats that don't rely on you doing filming and editing for very long periods of time. So you need to curtail what you want to make to fit within those parameters. So you need to make content that's simpler to make and that is not such a drain on your energy and on your time. And you also need to approach this understanding that you will not be able to compete on daily content and heavy volume. So you will need to work with that in mind as well. And you might have to accept that growth will be slow because you don't have the means of doing daily content or multiple uploads a week. And that's fine. That's the way it is. Just accept the growth for what it is and understand that there are other ways that you can supplement growth if you're not satisfied with that. I would argue that you shouldn't be looking at those numbers to derive validation or an emotional response, but consider that the other ways to get traffic and attention if you want something to be seen is you could buy advertising. It's not what people want to do. Everyone wants to be rewarded organically or algorithmically, but if your real desire is you're telling me, if you guys are being honest with me and honest with yourself and you say, I work so hard on something, I want it to be seen, isn't it worth paying for that if that's what it takes? Some of you have told me that you are filming at home and in your room and you live with people and it's noisy, or you can't, find a clean area in your house or in your room. I would stress that try to find a dedicated workspace and area, because just in general, I think that's a good thing to do if you can manage it. And if you start actually recording and making videos, it might encourage you to clean and stay organized on a more regular basis. Now, for those of you who say that you want to film outside or you want to vlog, but you're scared of doing it in public, you have to work past that. You have to give yourself exposure to that and confront the fear head on if that's the kind of content you want to produce. If you can't confront that fear head on and you can't accept that, you have to acclimate yourself to this, you're not going to be able to make that kind of content if that's what you want. And you will have to just do locked off tripod videos in your room, talking head, and you may not feel creatively or emotionally satisfied with that, but you also just can't get past the fear of doing the videos in public. So you're going to have to make a choice. You're either going to have to do what's comfortable, or you're going to have to be able to learn to get out of your comfort zone. And you're going to have to either live with content that is not what you would love it to look like, or sound like, or you're going to have to step up and change something inside of yourself that allows you to make that content that you honestly believe is better. Easier said than done, so I have an idea for you. Consider, if you're going to do that, try to get a friend or family member to go with you, because maybe it's that you'll be less anxious if you're not doing it by yourself. Or go to a place where people know you, where people like you, and then let them know what you're trying to do, and then get some emotional support and know that not everyone's looking at you weird and that they want to be helpful or supportive. And then maybe that helps you work past it. I think that's actionable advice. Now here's some advice, and I should do a video for the vloggers out there in general, but for those of you who are trying to be vloggers and you aspire to be daily vloggers, but your issue is that you don't think you can make your life interesting every day, it's like not every day has to be a daily vlog. In fact, I don't think it should be. Consider that it's just doing videos every day and that you can tell stories. Casey Neistat doesn't do an interesting day in his life every single day. A lot of times he'll sit down in front of the camera and tell you what he's thinking about, what he's feeling, or a story from in the past. Recently, he did a story about his grandmother. You can find interesting stories within your life, and you don't always have to capture them. Sometimes you can do it as a story time, and that's good enough. And again, if you signed on for a daily vlogger schedule, I'm gonna be real with you. You need to scale back some of your expectations, and you also, if you're going to stick to daily, that's a commitment. You signed on for that, so find a way to deliver, and that might mean being much less extravagant in the type of videos you make. I try to do multiple uploads a week, 3 to 5 uploads a week on this channel. I'm launching a completely second channel that's gonna do 2 to 3 uploads a week. And then I also, for my business, have to do my weekly webinars, and we're gonna start archiving them on the business YouTube channel. That's a lot of content. I'm gonna have to do, regardless of what channels they live on, I'm gonna have to do 5 to 7 videos every single week. Sorry, I ain't doing cinematic content. I'm not Casey Neistat. I'm not Peter McKinnon. I also don't have 3 people around to follow me with cameras like Gary Vee. I'm not doing that. I am working within my limitations, and I am working with what I have, because even 1,200 plus public videos, 1,400 total, on this channel alone, even with all of that, it still requires me to work up the mindset every day when I have to hit record. I still do most of this by myself majority of the time. Very few occasions where I get help with this specifically. When I do hire people to help me, it's in the back end of my actual business. So just don't think that I'm sitting here, on some mountain talking down to you. I still make content each and every day across multiple platforms, mostly by myself, and I've been doing it for over 6 years now. So I can tell you that this is something that is not beyond you. You just have to do the best you can with what you have, where you are right now. My friend Amy Landino, that is a quote from her that she borrowed from Teddy Roosevelt. And I think it is a tremendously important thing to give you the right approach and mindset if you want to be a content creator on any platform, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, doing a podcast. Make sure you're listening to my new podcast, and just anywhere you are where you want to create content. Understand that it's a commitment, but also don't burden yourself with unreasonable expectations. Be very self-aware of what you have to work with in terms of time, energy, resources, and understand where your strengths lie and stop chasing other people. And I think that's the best and most encouraging advice I could possibly give you. So just like I did in my community tab, I want to invite you to tell me what it is you're struggling with as a content creator. Be as detailed as you'd like. And also, this community is wonderful. People are respectful. I've set a tone for that, and I ban people who aren't. So leave those comments down below. Share your story, share your struggles, get a little bit of support. No sub for sub, no, oh, let's all support each other. No, I want real stories from people and what you're going through, and I want people to give their best encouragement and actionable advice to people who are going through it. And then if you like each other's stuff, you can always feel free to watch each other's stuff if you're curious about it. I have no issue with that. I just don't want any shameless self-promotion and spam that keeps people from getting to read what they need to read and stops me from being able to respond the way that I would like to because of having to go through all of that. So let's just keep the comment section clean and encouraging. Oh, also, if you made it to the end of this video, I've got a treat for you guys. For those of you who are struggling with your YouTube thumbnails, you might know that I sell a product called the YouTube Starter Kit that has over 100 downloads and assets and resources to help you make better YouTube thumbnails, better YouTube artwork, better graphics, all of that good stuff. But what I'm gonna do is on a lot of these videos, I'm gonna start leaving one-time coupon codes. So it's gonna be first come, first serve. So there's gonna be a massive discount, and I'm gonna drop like a couple of codes. Maybe it's gonna be 5 or 10 codes in the description or a pinned comment. So make sure you're paying attention, watching to the end of videos, things like that, because you never know what I'm gonna do. Anyway, like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the other awesome stuff on the channel. As always, you guys, thanks so very much for watching, and don't forget, go out there and create something awesome today. Take care.